How's it going, YouTube? I'm James, aka The Con, and this is,
Bobby, aka Bot.
and together we are. For today, we're going to be going over the news for 11/24, which is Thanksgiving. So, anybody that's in the US, happy Thanksgiving. So, the first thing we have to talk about Hasbro. Now, according to a Deadline article, Hasbro will be putting more money into Transformers. Now, what do you think about this, Bobby?
You know, I love the idea. I know they have so many lines, but with this, what does that actually mean? Does that mean they're putting the money into the figures and filling those gaps that we all love so much in the figures? Or are they looking at extending additional lines and adding more lines to the brand? Are they looking at doing, something else like with coloring books or something like that? What does that actually mean? Where is that money going? Of course, me and you, James, would probably love for it to go into the figures, but I'm still kind of in the dark about what that actually means.
I have the exact same thought, especially with the new movie coming out in 2023. It could just all be to promote that movie. So we'll see. So
Yes.
the next part of news before we get into our main news for figures is the Robeson trailer.
Yes.
So go
So,
ahead, Bobby.
well, as you see, I have my Robeson hat on. I am actually an owner of the Prime and have the pre-order for the trailer. And I got news that there was a small delay in the trailer. Now it's looking to ship middle of December, which, I'm a little upset about, but I guess I'll get over it. It's not that big of a delay, but I did get this email today.
Yeah, so all of you that are expecting this, you might have to wait a little bit longer, but you should get it soon.
Yeah.
All right, so now to the just announced figures. Now, we tried to keep this as recent as possible, but there might be a few that are a few days late. The first thing is Sovereign is getting a re-release, which I think is a really great figure, and it should be good for all the people that missed out on it. I won't be getting this personally because it doesn't really fit in with my collection, but I do love it, and I think it's a great figure.
Yeah, I actually have both versions here, and I think Fans Toys is re-releasing these before they get KO'd, like the Quietest and the Acoustic Wave. So it makes sense to kind of get it out now before there's a KO of it.
Exactly. And another re-release is Hasbro's re-releasing their Commander class Jetfire, which I think is a very good thing. This is an amazing figure. Surprisingly, for what Hasbro actually charged it for, they'd probably be charging double if it came out nowadays. But I do really like this figure. I like all the accessories and stuff. So if you guys missed out on it, now's your chance to get it.
Totally agree. I love this figure. Before I got my Fans Toys Phoenix, this is what was the stand-in for my Jetfire and my MP
Mhm.
collection.
Yep, yep, it definitely could be. Okay, so now keeping with Hasbro, we have another Rise of the Beast Air Razor that was leaked. We showed one last news video, but this is another one. And this one's actually an extensive remold of the Kingdom Air Razor. Now, are you going to be getting this figure, Bobby?
I don't think so. I'm on the fence. I actually like the I don't know why it seems that I'm liking all these alt modes a little bit better than the bot modes, but the colors look natural, and
Mhm.
so it is pretty nice looking. I don't like the head on the bot mode though.
I get you. It's a little too movie for you, I would assume.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. So I am actually thinking about getting this figure, but not for what it is, but to repaint it. Because I
of
think with
course.
some paint, make it well bright blue, and it'd work very good as a crow.
Huh,
So
interesting.
another leaked figure was Battle Trap from this movie, and I have to say I'm smitten with this guy. I think he looks amazing. I love the colors. I like the weapon. I think there's a little more to it than what we see. If this is reasonable and the prices don't go up too much, this will be a buy for me.
I'm on the fence with this one as well. When I first saw the alt mode, I was thinking about I think it's Firecracker from Mask, which is another toy line that
Oh,
I collected, and that's all I kept thinking of was the tow truck from Mask. The weapon in the bot mode is pretty cool, but that's pretty much it for me. I would have to see how the transformation is, but it looks pretty clean though.
yes, and I think the transformation is one of the things that are selling me for it. It looks like most of the mass actually goes into the upper body, which looks really cool. So I'm excited. I didn't think I'd be saying this about a movie versus figure, but I'm actually excited for this one. It looks nice. I like the colors.
I
So
figured you would.
now, so now let's get in. Excuse me. I wanted to show this off because I don't know if this is a deluxe or a Voyager, but if it's a deluxe, it's a pretty big deluxe, which will definitely make me get it. If it's a Voyager, that's kind of sad. But if it's a deluxe, I think that we're headed in the right direction with the sizing.
I think I saw somewhere that said it is a Voyager, actually.
Really? Okay, because I couldn't find that information.
I believe it is a Voyager. Yes, it is a Voyager. Voyager
Okay,
Battleship.
well then that's sad, and that should be a deluxe. So moving on, let's get to the updates, which is our lengthiest segment. So the first thing is an update to what we were talking about last time, which is Fans Hobbies Double Agent, their homage to Double Dealer. And again, we get to see the different colored wings in bot mode. Excuse me. Going more into it, here's the front facing versions. So not much between the two in this mode. Here's the bird mode, which I think the purple wings looks a lot better. And then here's what I'm really excited about, which is actually the new robot that they made for the Decepticon, which I think looks amazing.
I'm getting both because I have a hard time choosing sometimes with color wheels. So I'm actually going with the purple wings in this spot mode
Mhm.
for my shelf. That does look amazing. And then I think I will go with the other alt modes with the other figure. Not sure which one I'll have him in though.
Yes, and I think that would be a smart thing to do because this looks great. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it does
And
look really
then
good.
we have another thing that we touched on last time, which is the what is it, King Toys Dinobots. And I have the prototypes on the top, the excuse me, the original concept art on the top, the prototypes in the middle, and the prototype alt modes at the bottom. And I am very disappointed with this. I honestly wasn't planning on getting this to begin with, but I thought that swoop with the concept art looked really cool, and it looks like a completely different figure, just one step down. So I am completely out on this. I was going to just get swoop because he's my favorite Dinobot and he looked cool, but now I don't like the way that looks at all.
I was out on this from the concept, but Swoop and Slag were always my favorite Dinobots, as well as dinosaurs. Uh, Swoop looks like he's already partaken in Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, he looks huge. I mean, it looks like Bulkhead with wings or something like that. Why is he so top heavy and chunky? Oh my goodness. And
Yeah,
I just am not a fan at all of any of these. I'll be, eager to see what other people say about them when they have them in hand, but this is not for my collection whatsoever.
I agree with you. I'll be interested to see how this thing comes up combining too and seeing what that looks like.
I forgot all about that part.
All right, and here we have another King Toys, which is the Legends Headstrong. So I think this looks pretty good. You could see it with its mold. I wouldn't say mold mate, but with Tantrum, which is the other Predaking leg. I think this looks pretty good. I have their Firmament, which is their dive bomb, the Legends figure. I won't be continuing that line. I got that for to repurpose it as another character. But for your Legends collectors out there, I think this looks amazing.
I agree. I'm not a Legends collector, but if I was, I would be all in for this. I am in for the MP scale, so I'm waiting on the Gorilla and the Rhino to come out so I can complete my combiner.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about that in a little bit. So next we have Fans Toys Recorder. The pre-orders are now up. I couldn't find any pictures of the tapes. I don't know if they're out there or not, but
Yes.
this is their homage to Blaster, and I think it looks pretty good. Not for me, but it looks pretty good.
I'm all over this. They actually, I guess they heard the complaints about the chest color, and they've retooled it into the yellow, which we're used to seeing as G1ers. So I'm all over this. I was all over it with the gold chest, but this makes me feel better about my purchase. And I have the pre-order in. Let's go. And the tapes are amazing looking as well.
All right. So next we have there's a new video like reviews slash instruction manuals for Wonderful Trans WTO1 Ronin, which is Drift. And I didn't know this, but he actually has an Asurada alt mode, which is from the anime Future GPX Cyber Formula. And I think this looks amazing. I won't be getting it just because I don't know the alt mode, and I'd rather have a more traditional, which is funny, probably me saying traditional for Drift for you, but I would like to have a more traditional Drift alt mode, whether that be Cybertronian or a Tokyo Drift car. So I will be holding on for one of those to come out eventually. But if you're a fan of that anime, let us know, and if you're going to get this, because that's really cool.
I actually saw a couple of pictures of the alt mode, and I really do like the alt mode as well.
Hmm.
Um, I don't have a connection with the figure at all, so I'll be holding off on picking this up. You know, maybe somewhere down the line, if it's on sale or something like that, I may add it. But for right now, it's a pass. But I do like the alt mode.
Yes. And I added this picture in particular to show just how big this figure is. I mean, it is much larger than your normal MP car, which I think works for Drift. And then next, we have the new price for Fans Toys Phantasm, which is their homage to Mirage. It is going to be 140 on Show Z. And I think that's quite fair, honestly. It looks pretty good, not for my collection as well, too many smooth surfaces. But as a figure for a tune collection like your collection, I think it'd be perfect for Mirage.
I can't wait. I think it's on the way to me now. I have to check, but I am waiting patiently for this figure to arrive. I love Mirage as a character, always have, and this is going to be perfect for my collection.
Yep, that's exactly what I thought. And now this next one, we'll have to see if it's good for our collections. This is that they have new colored images of HasLab's Thesaurus or Desaurus. I'm 50-50 on this. Like, I like it, but the price is a little bit high, and I get it's a HasLab and stuff. But if I wouldn't don't get that throne or whatever, I'd be kind of annoyed. But I think the colors look great. So I still have 3 weeks to decide. So we're gonna see if I jump in on this or not.
Well, I was in on the HasLab Star Saber, so I feel like I have to get this. I'm with you on the throne. The price tag is a little bit high, co- considering that XTB or X Transbots and MMC have similar versions out for just a tad bit more, and
Hmm.
I think those will be, definitely better quality and everything. So I'm on the fence, but I'm probably 75% on getting it and 25% not getting it. But that throne will definitely make a big difference.
Yes, yes. Hopefully it gets to those backers.
Yes, I think 14,000.
Yes, yes. So keeping with Hasbro, we have some new Earthrise images. So obviously this is Bumblebee with a very weird and ugly alt mode. Then we've got Megatron with also very strange alt mode, which to me doesn't fit Megatron. We've got Shockwave with a more appropriate alt mode, but it's still a little weird. And then we have Twitch, which is the new character. Now, I am only going to probably get Twitch if I get any of them, because he has great repurposing abilities with a little bit of paint. That could be a really cool Decepticon. But I don't know about the rest. Now, are you going to be getting any of these, Bobby?
Oh no, not at all. Oh, I think my stomach turned a little bit when you were showing those pictures.
Uh,
These are definitely not for my collection. To anyone who gets them, more power to you. But definitely not a fan of the bot mode, the alt modes. I think I wouldn't even get this for my kid. Just not a fan at all. I'm going to try to watch the series, and maybe that will do something for me, but so far not at all.
and then we have one more image of an Earthrise figure, which is Thrash. Now, this one I actually think looks pretty cool, pretty unique, and I think I could paint that up as a really good Decepticon. So this is one I also think I'm going to be getting, just because you know how I like to repurpose things. This could be really easily repurposed into something else.
Surprisingly, this doesn't look that bad. I actually like the colors. That green is a beautiful color green.
And with mixed with the gray, it really pops.
It does. I actually could be in on something like this. Um, I don't know what the price point is. I haven't looked at any of these at all, but this would be something that I might pick up.
Yes, and I wanted to highlight this. This is the packaging. I am very worried about this packaging. You have paper holding it all in, and there's nothing covering it. They're all going to get their heads ripped off. They're all going to get their guns taken out. And I feel like it can only shop through Amazon from here on out.
I totally agree. This packaging is terrible, but I guess for the price point and for the audience that they're catering to, this fits.
Yes, I guess so. And then keeping with the Hasbro. Oh, yes.
I was going to say, hopefully Hasbro doesn't spend their money into packaging for these figures.
I don't think they are, by the way this looks. So now an upgrade set for a Hasbro figure. This is by Shockwave Labs, and it's actually for their Legends Bomb Burst. So I really like Legends figures. I don't have this figure, but if I do see it in stores, I might pick it up because I think this looks pretty cool.
Not a fan of the character, and I have some Shockwave Labs filler kits and accessories for some of my Kingdom and War for Cybertron characters, so I do like their work. But again, I don't like the character, but this is a nice kit, looks like.
All right. And then the next one is the Toy Easy's Mini Naval Fleet, which actually just started shipping. So this should actually be an incoming, but I think it looks pretty cute. I wouldn't get it personally, but for somebody like you that has kids, as long as the paint's safe, this would be a cute little thing for some kids.
I actually considered getting this for my daughter. My daughter likes my Transformers and my toys, and so this might be something appropriate for her. I hope it's not as bad as the bigger figures.
Yes, I don't think it's going to be, but I think for the right audience, this would be good.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I accidentally showed a few of what we're going to be seeing. But the next thing we have is an upgrade set to the Legacy Metroplex by DNA. And I actually really like this. I like that it comes with the little guy, which is also, I think the original figure is a redeco of Leader 1, which is Armada Megatron's Minicon, which is who I would want. But if I had Legacy Metroplex and I didn't return him, I would definitely be getting this.
Yeah, I was so excited when they announced Metroplex coming out, and then to find out what it was, I was all out. So I will not be looking at picking up this set at all. But I have purchased a few DNA upgrade kits, like for Scorponok and Black Zarak, which were really cool, and they do good work as well. But I would not be picking this up.
And then lastly, we have King Toys again, but I saved this for last because I think it's something we're both excited about. They showed off the final colors of Headstrong, or I don't exactly remember what name they're going for, but they showed off the final colors of Headstrong, which I think look very good. I'm a little concerned with all the yellow and gold mixing, and they didn't pick one or the other, but we'll see what this looks like.
You know, I am just ready for this set to be finished.
I feel you.
It's taking up a lot of space on my shelf with just the pieces, and I love it. So this was a highly stylized Predaking, which is typically not what I like in my collection, but Predaking is one of my favorite combiners. So it was time for us to get a nice size MP scale Predaking, and I agree with the colors, but I think the addition of the gorilla and the black will hopefully break up that orange and red and gold when it comes to combine mode.
Yes. And there are the alt modes right there, which they put the crab in, which I think is hilarious.
Yes.
And then finally, there is the combine mode, which I do think looks really good combined. I think they're smart by keeping most of the gold in the center torso and the wings, and most of the limbs, besides Dive Bomb, don't have gold, or it's very little gold. So I think this looks good. I'm not a big fan of the sword, since the sword is mostly orange with the gold handle, which I think or hilt, excuse me, which I think looks very strange. But we'll see what it looks like when it's all combined. And one thing I have to say is I wish the head was orange like the original G1 Predaking.
I do as well. But I can't disagree with anything you just mentioned about the accessories and things. I think this figure looks great. It's definitely going to be a presence on my shelf,
Yeah,
just because of how stylized it is. It's a big chunky figure, it looks like, and I just hope it holds up well with all the size.
I agree. And the weight. These are heavy figures.
Yes. So the ratchets hopefully are very strong, and there's other tabs to back the ratchets.
Exactly. All right, so now let's talk about what's incoming, which should be released shortly. The first thing is Fans Hobbies Energy Commander, which is the Energon Prime. It's already started shipping in China, and I'm sure it'll come over to the US soon. And I don't know if you know anything about Energon, but this is a very faithful reproduction to the original toy. I quite like it, but I'm going to wait for the Grand Scourge version. As you know, I like my repaints, and it's a Nemesis Prime with teal and purple and whatnot limbs. So I'm going to wait for that patiently, but I do think this looks good. This one has a lot of nostalgic value because I had the original toy as a kid.
So I still have the original toy, and I think at the time I purchased it just because it was a prime figure. I was never a fan of the figure though. And
Oh,
so
really?
yeah, I just didn't really like the parts bolting on. It kind of reminded me of Power Rangers, I guess. And so I will be passing on this, but it is good to see that they are staying consistent with their releases of Armada and those off series that we didn't really get from other MP companies.
Yes, and if they do a Energon Megatron, I will be buying that in a heartbeat. Even though it looks like Galvatron, I think it looks great. So now the Ocular Max's Tempo, which is their homage to Steel Jaws, is supposed to be released in December. So that's just around the corner. If you weren't able to pick this up at TFCon like you did, you'll be able to get it more or less in December.
Well, with this one is, it's a little bit of a difference from the exclusive they had. The wings were more gold on the exclusive than this color. They're more shiny. So this is a little bit different here as the full release versus the exclusive. I actually picked up the exclusive, so I will be passing on this one. But it's a great
All
figure.
right. And I'll be passing on this just like the exclusive. And then the next thing, which I think is really cool, it's a Transart Metal Mouse, which is Trans Metal Rat Trap, and it's already hitting reviewers in China. This thing looks amazing, just like it did in the show. They got the shininess to it. I won't be picking this one up, but I am praying to Primus that we get a pack rat version with blue and black. That one will be an insta buy for me. I will not be able to hold back.
I did not like the show as a kid or as a younger, however old I was. For some reason, this one is growing on me though. I like the colors. I like the vibrant metallic features. I may pick this up. I have to check though.
Yeah, so I'm pray with me that we get a pack rat because that's an instant buy. Just like when they do tarantulas, I need that Fox Kid Silver repaint, and I need the Ravage. I need the Tigertron repaint. Come on, Transart, start doing these, start pumping these repaints out. That's what I want. And RC, I mean Black Arachnia when they repainted it at RC. I have that Botcon figure. I want an updated version of that so bad it's not even funny. All right, so now recently released figures within the past week or so. The first thing is Kang Toys Gorilla and Rusurius, which we previously talked about. I already paid for this. I'm just waiting for it to come in. I think you're in the same boat. So
Yes.
we'll see what it looks like when we get it. I quite like this figure. I like that it's a little bit different from normal Predaking figures. But what I'm really excited for is this. That wolf that we got with Razor Claw is amazing, and I can't wait to have its brother. I almost might not combine Predaking just to have these wolves because I think they are the most fun in the whole set that I've had.
Well, I can say that they definitely don't poke you like the Razor Claw did. It can almost drew blood from me like 5 times. It's like going to the doctor. But I initially was out on the gorilla. Just the G1er in me was just like, what is all this extra stuff? But I think it actually looks good. It actually, them doing something with the feet to make them a character was really creative. The same way they did the crab with the hands. I thought that was very creative to get more out of the accessories, so they're not just loose parts. So I actually am in all the way on this kit, and I agree the wolves are fun to transform and play with. I will hopefully be able to get this in combined mode and not have to go have surgery on my fingertips because I've lost so much blood.
You might have to get a transfusion.
Yes.
So something that we both got recently that I think our viewers will be seeing soon is TFC Toys STC-01D, which is the desert, or P, which is the winter version, Supreme Tactical Commander with the desert and winter version. The winter one's already sold out on Show Z. The rest of, I think it's still available on other sites. I love this figure. You guys will hear more about it very soon.
I agree. I do love this figure so much that I'm actually thinking about picking up the desert one. I haven't told you that yet, James.
You know what's funny is I have the same thought.
So who knows? Maybe something will be coming a little bit early for Christmas then.
Maybe we'll see. And then there's the combined modes, and I think this is where the desert one does shine. I mean, both of them shine, but the desert one shines more in this mode than the other mode.
Yes, I agree. And I think I just might have made my decision. Thank you, James.
Seeing both of them side by side.
Yes. Okay.
And then the last thing we have is SX Transbots. They have their Black Diamond, the limited edition Staunch, and Surveillance. Now, I don't know why there's two red ones with two different heads. I don't know if that's referencing something, but these guys look cool, and I think they're actually in stock, so you could get these right now.
I'm surprised because these are repaints, which are typically right up your alley. You haven't talked about picking up any of these. I actually have one of them. I actually picked up the white one. I cannot think of the name right now, but I picked that one up because it came with two little female officer figures that kind of stand up, by them. I'm thinking about picking these up, just not yet. Hopefully there will be a sale on them in the near future and I can grab them, but they are something that I'm thinking about adding just because I like the figure and the character in terms of the transformation and how the presence is on the shelf.
Yes, and you said I did not going to pick any of these up. You are correct. The only one I would get would be the white one. I already have Crosscut in Hasbro or Takara. That's my favorite version of this mold. The silver and the red work wonders for me. But if I did pick this up, it would be the police car one.
Yeah, yeah, I have the skids and the um I cannot think of the red one from Takara.
Reboost.
Reboost, yes, there we go.
Mhm.
So I have three of the molds currently, two from Takara and one from XTB.
Gotcha. All right, guys. Well, that's everything we have today. So we'll be back next week with more news.
And as always, till all debates are won.
See you next time, guys.